The time now is 6:59. For most of you that know me, you know that I start my meetings right at 7 o'clock. I don't like to penalize people who are on time. But due to the magnitude of the people that are trying to get on this meeting, I'm going to give it a few extra minutes because I don't want to leave anybody out.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome.
Hey, Mike, this is Rachel Sweet from ABC 12 News. Am I able to have access to record?
I am recording it.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that. I'll send you the video if you'd like.
That works too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Got done moving snow around. We got plenty of it too.
Yeah, and so I got to miss out on that today for obvious reasons, but Kelly sure let me know that she missed me in action, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Chuck, if you're not doing anything after the meeting, you can come and hit my drive again. You could probably use it after I hit it this morning.
All I know is my wife said, go out and shovel with a shovel because I want you to increase your risk of a heart attack.
For me, it's the plow and the four-wheeler and the snow blower, and yeah.
All right, it seems like it's slowed down a little bit. Before we get started, first of all, I want to say I'm very inspired and moved by the amount of public outreach that we've had. It's nice to know that our citizens are listening to what it is that's happening in our township. We've had just an overwhelming show of, or actually no support for the proposed asphalt plant, and just know that the township board hears you, and we know that you are in opposition to the asphalt. Tonight's agenda does not include anything regarding the asphalt plant, so the township board will not be talking about the asphalt plant tonight. However, there will be public comment time. Also, too, there will be a public hearing that is scheduled by the Planning Commission, and that is the formal place for you to have your comments registered and on the record. So that will be also posted on our website, so you can follow us on tyronetownship.us and look under meetings, and you'll be able to find out when the public hearings are by clicking on the agendas. Okay, I got a few more to admit here, and then we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. All right, the time now is 7:06. We will call our meeting to order. Please rise as I recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Yes, and just a reminder, state where you're meeting from, if you're from home or if you're from an office. Mike Cunningham.
Here, from my homeroom office.
David Walker.
Here from my home.
Jennifer Eden.
Here from my home office.
Kurt Schultz.
Here from my home office.
Zach Tucker.
Here from my home.
Herman Ferguson. All right, and I'm here from my home office.
I would like to make one change to the agenda. Rather than do public remarks after our closed session, I would like to do that before closed session. So we're going to wedge it in there under new business. So that way, if anybody else has something they want to say, they'll be able to do it without having to wait for us through closed session. Any other additions to the agenda?
I'm sorry, Mike. Can you clarify, are you putting that after communications or after unfinished
I'm going to wedge
business?
it between new business 1 and 2. So before we resolve to go into closed session.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, okay, got it.
If we don't have any other changes to the agenda, I'll
So moved with the changes requested.
Second.
Support.
So,
do you have that, Marcy?
Yes.
Okay. It's been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, the agenda's been approved. Hang on a second. Next is approval of the consent agenda. The regular board meeting minutes from February 2, 2012. The treasurer's report from January 31st, 2021. I said 2012, that's correction, 2021. And the clerk's warrants and bills.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
You're opposed, or is that?
No, I'm in favor.
Okay. Next is communications. We have the City of Fenton Fire Department Annual Report for 2020 and the Planning Commission meeting synopsis from February 9th, 2021.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported. It's been motioned and supported to receive and place communications 1 and 2 on file. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. Now is the opportunity for public remarks. Just know that we have received hundreds and hundreds of communications. So I want everybody to have an opportunity to say what they would like to say. Please limit your time to 3 minutes so we can get through it. If somebody would like to appoint somebody to speak on behalf of a group, that would be fine too. That helps move things along. But if you would like to speak, down at the bottom right of your screen, you should be able to move your cursor over it, and there's a wave hand or raise hand function, and we'll go with that. So once I see people start raising hands, I'll go ahead and allow you your 3 minutes to talk. I'm not seeing anybody raise their hand. Dan, you're on. Dan Stickle, will you raise your hand so I can make sure that that function is working?
I see a Julie Dooley
Yeah,
And a
and a
rose.
rose.
and a Scott Dietrich.
Yep.
Okay, that's funny. It's not even showing on my end. Oh, the beauties of Zoom, huh?
Yeah, beautiful, huh? Can you see them on their picture? Oh, I guess it went away now.
No, I'm not seeing anybody with their hands.
I have mine up. It's Rose.
Okay, Rose, I
Rose
see it
Foster?
now. Yes,
Yep,
go ahead,
hi.
Rose.
Hey, I'm just concerned that with the meeting that you got coming up with the whole asphalt thing, is there going to be any sort of flyers sent out to us township people? There are a lot of people that are like out of town in Florida that
Right.
would have no idea that this is happening.
As I said earlier, we don't send mailers out, but what we do is we put all of our agendas on our website, and that's tyronetownship.us. And then you can click on meetings, and you'll see all the upcoming meetings. It'll have the agenda, the board pack, everything that you need. For all the information is there. And then,
Well, that's fine, but we've got a lot of older people that don't have the internet, that aren't using that availability. And I've got 2 people across from where I live right now that they're in North Carolina and Florida that don't have the ability to even have the internet. So it concerns me that there's not a lot of people that are older that are getting this information, that this would concern them, I'm sure.
right. Well, what would you suggest? How would we reach them?
Well, I think most people would have their mail forwarded to them when they're out of town.
Through the mail.
Yes.
It's kind of like the sewer. That was optional when we first moved out here, and then apparently it wasn't optional. Then we have to have citizens pay $25,000 to hook into the sewer system. Like poor Mary up here on Nymphy Street, she's about on her deathbed, but you guys all threatened to take her house. Everything else, yeah, just a whole bunch of baloney that goes on here in Tyrone Township.
We have a
Can I
lot of
respond to
people.
that?
I'm sorry, Rose. Did you want to finish your comment?
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the people that are out of town because of the, the snowbirds that aren't going to be aware of this till they come back in a few months, and they won't have a voice because they're not going to know about this.
Right.
And,
I understand.
and you know that everybody's going to have an opinion that, nobody's going to be
If you know of anybody you think that's not going to get it, send me their information and I'll find a way to make sure that they're notified of it.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I have, see who else's hand is up here. Rose, I just had spoke. Okay, I've got the Palms here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for taking your time to hear us out. So I have a ton of concerns, first of all, but just one of the main ones that I want to kind of put out there and get your feedback on is, if we rezone this from farmland to an M2 heavy industrial, what does that say for our future, for our community? Are we going to become an industrial community? Is that what the plan is? Because my fear is, if they come in and we allow this, then there's a lot of farmland out here, and I'm sure there's farmers that are wanting to sell their land, and I feel like this just is going to open a can of worms if that's not the end goal, which I don't believe that it should be, because we're trying to preserve this community because of its beauty, its just its overall feel, and it doesn't seem to fit the narrative if we allow this heavy industrial plant to come into our community.
Right. Well, we haven't allowed anything yet, and there's a process that they have to go through in order to do that, and it has to be consistent with our master plan. And I will say, for those that are listening, we're going to start the process of redoing our master plan this year, and this is a great way for you to build the roadmap for the future of our township. Last time we did it, I don't even think we had 12 people show up, but these are the things that we can address and plan a roadmap for with our master plan. So I see that there's a lot of passion, and I urge everybody that can spare just a little bit of time to get involved in these visioning sessions that will be coming up.
Okay, sounds great. I mean, you will keep us updated on that, or is that something that we have to come to you and request that information for the redoing of the master plan?
We will definitely get that sent out one way or another.
Okay.
Like I said, always follow us on the website. There's always announcements and stuff on there. We put a lot of work into that website. A lot of information is there, and it's a good resource to find out what's going on. And if not, just pick up the phone. We're there. But we're definitely going to do something to let you know that we are going to do master plan visioning.
Okay, definitely. I mean, it's just overall very concerning, because we moved into this area a year ago because we fell in love with the up north feel of it, and driving past a asphalt plant is going to really take that away. And I'm not for that. But I appreciate all of your efforts. I honestly feel that you guys are here for us, and I really hope that in the end you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Dean Haas.
Hello, it's Dean Haas. How are you today?
Good, Dean. How are you?
Good. My question is, we've some of the things we saw, they've done some preliminary water studies and et cetera for this plant. Does Tyrone Township have any need, or is this something you guys are going to do to make sure that what they do is going to be correct? Reports can be skewed one way or another based on information given by the person doing it. I want to make sure that Tyrone Township's going to make sure that, our waterways and are safe, because where they're setting could affect multiple waterways in this county and township.
Sure. Yeah, we actually have a contracted engineer who's a consultant for us. They're a large firm. They do surface water discharge, groundwater discharge, sewer, storm, and they will be reviewing anything that comes before us. Also, too, the health department most likely will be involved in this. So, I mean, there's a lot of agencies that will be involved in anything going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike.
Thanks, Dean. Let's see if I got anybody else raising their hand. Okay, I got Danielle.
Hi there.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, my name is Danielle, and I want to start by thanking everybody for your time and managing this overwhelming group. So I just have a couple comments and a couple suggestions I'd like to share. Actually, a Heartland Township resident of over 20 some years, and I'm currently have a purchase agreement on a piece of acreage in Tyrone Township, not far from where this is at. So we're headed to the closing table in a couple weeks, and I'm naturally very concerned. So one of my concerns is obviously this isn't normal that we're living and meeting in the Zoom world. I have deep concerns that there's many people. I guess to start with, I want to make sure that if we're going to have these meetings via Zoom and people's comments are going to be able to be heard and people are going to be able to be informed, that people are able to get into these meetings and that the meetings are run in a way that function for people. Like the last meeting, people's mics weren't muted. So I don't know who is like the meeting moderator at the township level, but like, I don't know if you guys can assign, like when we do Zoom meetings at my office, you can assign multiple meeting people so that the person who's running the meeting isn't necessarily the person who's letting people in the door. Like there's a Facebook page of concerned residents, and as of right now, there's like 9 people that currently say they're waiting to get in the meeting. So like while I understand the meeting started, there's many people right now complaining that they're sitting waiting to get in to hear this meeting right now and they're missing out. So, and I noticed that like the chat is different. There's no chat feature, which I understand. Things got a little crazy at the last meeting and I can appreciate that. So I guess that's just my 2 cents on it. If, you know, there's the mics, the moderators of the meeting should be able to keep everyone's mics muted. It was so you know, the last meeting was super frustrating in my opinion. People were on their phones and there's all this background dysfunction music and chatter and all that.
Yeah, I'll make sure that that gets addressed. And yeah, they're you know, this is a learning experience for us. You know, we're all new Zoom.
Right.
It just got thrown in our lap. And,
Right.
You know, we apologize for last meeting because we had no, you know, I can't recall
Right.
if we've ever had 100 people at a meeting in the 12 years that I've been here. Close,
Right.
but we actually have capacity for 1,000 people now. So,
Which is wonderful. And I think it's great. It speaks volumes to people who want to come to Tyrone Township, as we do, as, you know, property owners ready to build in the area. So, you know, I guess from that level, I'm hopeful that together the township board can
right.
out the kinks and figure out how to mute people's mics and have multiple meeting moderators that can let people in while other people are running the meeting and stuff, because it will certainly help, and it will keep the angst from people who are feeling uninformed and their voices aren't heard. So thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, next is Jim Lee.
Hi, Jim Lee.
Hi, Jim.
I'm confused in reference to the master plan. I've been reading different things. It says that the master plan currently is slated for agricultural and or residential. However, I've heard some other feedback in reference to that that's not the case in the master plan. And then in the listing for the property itself, it says that it is currently zoned for agricultural use. However, the future land use plan designates the property for Land Industrial Research Office. Can you explain that to me?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a Planned Industrial Research Office, and it, there's a bunch of parcels that fit into that configuration, and some of the parcels are zoned for are future land use for office space, some a little bit more commercial. So that's kind of how it works. It's kind of like a cluster, but it has sections of where things go. It's kind of like a puzzle. Does that make sense to you?
I believe so. Sarah Martin Fanone, can you mute your phone, please, or your system? Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know if I understand it yet, but I mean, that would be something that you're going to talk about in your future, in the master plan that's coming up, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then in reference to that, that is also something that would be, you know, eventually voted on as to if you're going to change the zoning, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I was just confused because I'm hearing so much, you know, back and forth as to what it is zoned and what it's the master plan. Somebody had said that the master plan states that it's going to be, you know, industrial, heavy industrial in the future, but I could not find it anywhere.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, if you have any questions and you want to know the facts, give us a call. If not, if we're on the line, leave a message, shoot us an email. We'll respond to you. We'll give you the facts. No problem. That's what we're here for. Yep. Thank you. Next hand raised, I see Jim Quinn. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Okay, how you doing, Mike?
Good, Jim. How are you?
Well, I've got a lot of fears. You know, I just recently moved here about 7 months ago with my wife. We sold our place up north. We sold our place downstate, and now all of a sudden we're looking at an asphalt plant. And quite frankly, you know, we're over here off of Foley Road, which is downwind of it. At the last meeting, I believe it was mentioned that they don't monitor the odor. And I expect we'll get a lot of that here, as well as, you know, some of the other toxins that are going to escape. My other fear is, from what I understand, they're asking for this to be zoned heavy industrial. From what I also understand, a hot mix asphalt plant is considered light industrial, but they only need land use permits or special land use. What else?
Well,
what else are they planning? And
so,
if it's zoned heavy industrial, what can they put there? That's
well,
all.
they're actually asking for M2 manufacturing a zoning. And they also wanted to include some industrial buildings with that, you know, that you could put offices or like machine shops or auto parts stores in type thing. They didn't say what the specific use for those were, but they did talk about adding those buildings. And yeah, everything goes through that master plan. So that's where it's at right now.
Okay, so if it were zone M2, they could put anything that fits into the M2 category?
Right. There's a category of what's allowable and what's not allowable. And a special land use means that it's not a guarantee. It's a special land use. You have to get special approval for it. So it's not as easy to get as a typical land use permit. Usually a land use permit is issued when you have something that you want to do that's clearly defined in the ordinance as allowable, and then you get a land use permit. So does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I'm still worried because they're actually asking for it to be classified higher than it is, than what they.
Yeah, and we definitely are looking at that.
Okay.
So
thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I I believe it's Jay Fialka. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Are you there? Okay, they lowered their hand. Julie Dooling.
Good evening. How are you, Mike?
Good, Julie. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you. I think that you guys have done a spectacular job with the amount of people that you have had on the last call, which I was thankful to be able to participate in. I have more questions rather than a statement. So if it's being rezoned before the board, in your part of this board, would it be able to be stopped at this point through your group?
So what happens is, they put in a request for rezoning that could or could not happen. So what happens is the planning commission reviews it. They send it over to the county reviews it. Then both the county and the planning commission will make a recommendation either for or against to the township board. And the township board will decide whether it will be rezoned or it won't be rezoned.
Okay. And how much say does the county have in it, in our township? Do you just take their recommendation into consideration?
We take all of our recommendations. I mean, from our consultants, whether it be our planner, whether it be our engineering firm, whether it be our legal counsel, whether it's our planning commission, whether it's the county planning commission, it's all important, and we listen to everything that they have to say when we make any determinations.
Okay, and my final question is, within your master plan of how it is now, I've heard mixed things, whether it fits in the master plan or doesn't fit in the master plan. And I know part of your meeting, I believe, going forward is to perhaps reorganize your master plan. With that idea in mind, would a new master plan, if it goes in the forethought of what everyone seems to be resisting this, would it be able to resist this type of company, light industrial, heavy industrial coming into this area? Or would it be too late in changing the chess game around?
Well, see, they've already got an application in. So once you submit an application, you can't go back behind and shuffle the deck. You know what I mean?
So they're in it now.
That's frowned upon. So, so what they have to do is they have to demonstrate that it's within the master plan and that they can rezone it. They have to demonstrate that to us. And we have to go through our process to determine whether that's feasible or not, or viable.
And from here, and I know I said that was my last question, but I do have one more. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So from here until the next meeting, and then they go before, and it goes for the planning commission, goes for the county, what is the time frame of that? An estimate.
Each one of these applications is a different animal, and depending on where they fall on people's agendas, it's going to take some time. I don't see this happening in a month. I don't see it happening in 2 months. I don't see it happening in 3 months. There's processes that have to occur. There may be some engineering studies and feasibility studies and environmental studies that will be requested upon them. So we have to find out what that is, how long that takes, and gets back. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You've been helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Take care.
You too. All right. Next is Sue Corman, I believe. Sue?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
I'm also new. I bought our property and we built about a year and a half ago, and I guess I am right on the line of Tyrone and Fenton Township. Like literally, I guess the people across the street are Tyrone Township. How much say do we have being this close?
We're a community, so your opinion, you're here and we're listening to you, so it's important. Yeah.
Okay. Also, what is are you guys Livingston County?
Yes, we are.
Okay, because that's one thing I wanted to see, because when we built with our property and the little bit of natural wetlands we had, it was quite an issue. And I had to go through a lot of hoops to make sure we did it properly. So I don't know what this farmland has on it, but I'm just curious if this farmland is purchased by this company and they want to put other businesses in the area. Honestly, how many businesses want to be next to it? So like in the long run, it doesn't seem like it's very, I guess I don't know enough about the process and the land where it's at that I would know other businesses want to be close to an asphalt company.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know, how people view them as, just a business, but I definitely don't. I definitely know how people view them living near them.
Yeah.
I've got a whole Zoom meeting full of people that are in opposition to it.
And I think I'm quite a distance away from you, but I'm in opposition. I moved out here for the same reason everybody else did, was for the quiet and the fresh air and just the beauty of it. So it's quite a few miles for me, but that still concerns me. So I just wanted to be able to, put my 2 cents in and hopefully be able to help with this.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, Dave Minnock. Oh, you put your hand down. So let's see who else. I have township resident. Township resident?
Hi.
Hi.
This is Kathleen Anderson. How are you, Mike?
Good, Kathleen. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for hearing our opinions on this matter. I appreciate it. One of the things, being in the industry as an environmental consultant working for asphalt companies, I really want you guys to know that odors are really going to be an issue. Michigan asphalt plants spend millions of dollars on emission control equipment for their plants, but it still does not control odors. Odors can be detected 2 miles away, which would also include people that are not in our township. And I think, that's important to know. Mm-hmm. The other thing too is the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, which is now called Michigan Eagle,
yeah,
will come out and do, if they get complaints on odors, they will come out and investigate. Sometimes that's 1 or 2 days later after they get a call, or sometimes it's 10 days. If they come out and do an odor evaluation, they rank it based on an intensity and a duration. Okay, they rank it from 0 to 5. They won't write any letters of violation until it gets into the 3, 4, 5 category. So, which is a very intense odor with a very long duration. There is not a whole lot of recourse that residents have in order to fight odors once they start occurring. And one of the things that an asphalt plant company can do is raise their stack, and increase it by maybe 10, 20, 30 feet. But that's just going to push it up and out even further. The thought is dilution is the solution to pollution, but it's really not. I think it's really important to know that one of the things that's going to happen is you guys will get a lot of the phone calls because people don't know who to call for situations like this. You guys are going to field a lot of phone calls. So will the police department. The police department will get phone calls. They'll call, people will call 911. It's because they just don't know who to call.
Right.
So, there's also extreme fire hazards with storing liquid asphalt cement, I'm sorry. On the applicant's plans, there wasn't a whole lot of information, just it called out product. Well, I think they need to be a little bit more transparent with what the product is. I'm assuming it's liquid asphalt cement. That is the black binder that goes into making asphalt mix. When it's on fire, our homes would have to be evacuated. I want to know that our emergency responders could handle a fire like that, and that they would be able to take care of those things. I do oppose having this asphalt plant in the area. One, because asphalt plants really need to be carefully considered when we site these. They need to go in heavy industrial parks, ones that are already established and zoned exactly for that. And there should be a massive buffer between those plants and the residents. To put something like this in a heavily residential farming area community is just, you're asking for a whole lot of odor complaints, and that, not to mention the emissions that come from that. Particulate matter, they're allowed, this is, I'm reading right out of Superior Asphalt's permit from our Lansing plant. For particulate matter, they're allowed 22 tons per year. Carbon monoxide, 89.5 tons. Sulfur dioxide, 80.6. Nitrogen oxide, 89.5 tons per year. They're also allowed lead, benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, xylene, naphthalene, formaldehyde, acrolein, arsenic, nickel, hydrogen, chloride, manganese, and sulfuric acid. So, there's a lot of pollutants here. I think that's something that the other thing I want you guys to know too is, once this township approves, if they approve something like this, the township residents really don't have any recourse. It'll go to the state environmental department of environmental quality will issue these permits, and then the facilities are allowed to expand and include more storage silos, more scales, more asphalt storage tanks as they request and ask for permit modifications from the state. So this plant can grow in size, and most likely will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Scott Dietrich. Scott, you there? Scott?
Scott, you have to unmute yourself, please.
Scott, you're muted. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Scott. Yeah, I've asked to unmute. Let's see. I'll come back to Scott. Is it Jeanette Ropita?
Oh, Mike?
Yeah, you there, Scott?
Yeah, I kept banging on this thing, wouldn't go through.
Okay.
Are you there? Okay.
Yeah, we're here. Go ahead.
Nice to see you guys. I haven't been in the meetings in a while. I got a lot of issues. 2,500 tons he can produce there. Bring in 50. That'll bring 50. He said, John said it's going to be 58 axle trailers a day that will fill. 8 axles. I know he discussed the ramp at Center Road, but he didn't discuss the ramp at White Lake Road. Our primary roads are White Lake Road, probably Fawcett, Clyde, and Heartland Township. Probably Bennett Lake Road as well. I know another thing is Dan Callen was on there. I know he's a salesman. He wants to sell property. He's working for the seller. We got a lot of issues with roads. Winding, turning. We got a cement plant down there in that area now. And I'm dealing with cement trucks here all the time coming down White Lake Road. And anybody's been down White Lake Road is a windy, turny, twisty road with blind driveways. And I know we paved this part of the road.
Yep.
And they put up signs. We requested that they put up signs for no truck traffic, and it's kind of hard to enforce that. I mean, they're sliding through all the time. I know you try. Another thing is people on here aren't understanding the terminology when these people talk at these meetings, like REUs. So, we probably have to explain a lot more to the people out there what REUs mean, all the terminology, you understand what I'm saying. Dan was talking about the REU hookups. I know the county and the township. I was there through a lot of, I don't think I missed too many meetings for the planning commission when they were putting the master plan together. And there was a lot of discussion about this area that they zoned that could be future development. Well, they were very meticulous. I mean, they wanted the site to go through there to be really clean. Even the signs, they went to the signs where they didn't want those Vegas flashing signs and this and that. They wanted people to drive through there and not be an eyesore. So I know that was one of the issues. There were several issues. I know all the people on your board and on the planning commission weren't there to do it when we did it then. And I encourage the people out there, hey, yes, get there, learn what's going on in township, learn what these things mean. And I think we can get through this. But now the factory there is M1, and he's looking for M2. I just can't see it. I mean, and I know some of the outside stores you were talking about, if they put a Home Depot in there or something like that, outside storage. Well, you got piles of debris out there, material that they're using. It's out in the open, whether it's bagged or not. It just looks like, if I go down to Heartland and you go down there where the cement plant is, that's sandwiched in between the expressway and the service drive. There's no residential homes that close to it. There's kind of more of a buffer, and nobody really sees it. I mean, unless you're going down the highway, and who cares when you're going down the highway? But like I say, you really got to look at this traffic. I know the smell, the traffic situation with you're talking if the state or the county is doing roads, you're talking they can have truck traffic coming in, carrying loads, and taking product out. So you're talking up to 50 of those trucks a day. 50. And it's not just US 23. I mean, US 23 can handle that, but Old 23, Fawcett Road, White Lake Road, Bennett Lake Road, Clyde Road could go over to Hickory Ridge Road. That's part dirt. White Lake Road, they're going to try to squeeze through here. I just know it. But anyways, I'm not going to occupy your time because we're going to be doing some public hearings. I can only hope we can all get to that point. We can all do it in person. With all these vaccines coming, maybe we can get there. And I thank you for getting, I don't know if you used the whole 1,000 up tonight, but thank you for increasing it for us. And say hi to everybody there, and I'll let you go.
Thank you, Scott. I've got a few more people that want to speak. I know we've addressed roads, we've addressed pollution, quality of life, a lot of things. If you got something new to add, please do. But we got business we have to take care of. I do want to make sure everybody gets heard, though. So next, I have Jeanette.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Jeanette.
Okay. Hi. My name's Jeanette Ropetta. I've lived in the area for 4.5 years. I'm right off Foley Road. I am directly east of the proposed plant. The smell will come over my yard and my neighbor's yard. This is frightening to me. And first of all, I want to say I'm representing only myself here. So if I get a little crazy, nobody's told me what to say or anything, I get very passionate
Right.
And I cannot
Understandable.
understand how it's come to this. And I must say, the woman that said earlier about the lack of communication, I understand you guys have a website, etc. People aren't going to your website. They just aren't. They've got other things to do. They're busy with their lives, etc. And we have to get this information out to people. I've been out and about talking to people, and they are horrified to find out about this. They do not know about it. They don't. So another thing, I want to let you know that I'm on Facebook right now. I've had 21 people contact me. They're still in a group chat, and they're telling me they cannot get into this meeting. So there is a technical problem, it seems, maybe on your side.
Every time someone shows up, I get them in within a minute or two.
Well, there's 21 lined up that are telling me, and I'll send you a screenshot of it, but they're all saying that they're getting a message. One sent me a screenshot. They have a message that says waiting to be allowed in. So, and the other ones, a few of them the same. So I'm just mentioning that.
Okay.
I'm also want to bring to your attention, I think you know that there are 2,700 people in just 6 days maybe that are in our Facebook group. That's an average of about, I think, around 450 people a day. And the momentum is growing, and people are not happy about this. I know that my property value is going to plummet. That's a fact. When you look at the articles out there, the studies, I've seen everything from 30% and more. So I'm wondering, is it worth it for all of these homes in the area, when they get reassessed and their values go down and your tax base goes down, then what happens? Is it going to, as far as money, is it going to, work out for the township with extra revenue coming in from an asphalt plant when people can't sell their homes, or they're losing the value in their homes and the tax base goes down? I don't think so. So again, I've talked to many people about this, that they have no idea that this is going on. I cannot understand how it's come to this point, that there's zoning that's available out there that is being talked about, the zoning changing now. You talked about a new roadmap being built. What is the condition of the roadmap right now that it has to be rebuilt? And what's going to happen with that rebuilding of the roadmap for the area?
I can answer that question for you. The Michigan and Zoning Enabling Act requires local municipalities to revisit their master plan every 5 years. So we did ours, I want to say, in 2012, and then about 2 years ago, we revisited it. We really didn't see, there was a few things that needed to be changed, just some terminologies and stuff. We had those changed. A couple of pictures were outdated. We had those taken out and replaced. So we didn't do any major changes. So, we're getting close to that, 10-year span since we've had a major one. So we decided that when we bring on our new consultant, that's going to be one of their new projects, is that we're going to go ahead and initiate that and have a very comprehensive master plan with visioning sessions and feedback and input from our residents as to what the roadmap for the future looks like. And like I said, I urge as many people that are passionate about this to be passionate about that, because it's very, very important.
I understand. And so then just one more question. Is there any budget in the township for mailers, for mailing information out to people to tell them that this is what's going on?
Yeah, we do have mailing in our budget, and we usually do that for our newsletter that goes out. I know people are probably slow to get it, but I think our community knows what's going on now.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't know what's going on. This needs to be brought out into the open. It needs to be mailed to people. Not everyone is on the internet. There's a lot of older people, and certainly very few people follow your website. We need this information to get out to the public, and it's not out there. Yeah. It's not.
Mailers.
Wasn't it in the newspaper? In the TC
Not
Times?
Everyone reads the newspaper.
Good on Channel 12 News too.
Okay, I understand that. Well, I'm just telling you that people aren't getting this information. So when you held that last meeting last week, a few people found out about it over the weekend, and that's why you had a bunch of people on the call. I never found out, and 2,700 other people didn't find out either until word of mouth spread. But I would strongly, and I'm going to bring this up again, I really hope that you will do a mailer to tell people that this is going on.
Thank you for your comments. Brianne Nadi?
Yep, let me just remove myself from where my children are watching a video.
Okay.
My only comment is that my concern is with regards to the property value of our home and how it would affect the schools and how it would affect Heartland Community Schools in particular if people chose to leave the district and the community, and how it would affect the pricing and what the schools got. That's my concern.
Okay. Thank you. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add, Brianne?
I don't know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Brother Heil?
Thank you. I don't know how that typo happened. It's autocorrect. It's Brian, 25-year resident of Tyrone Township. And my question is about the master plan. Is it the one that's in effect currently at the time of application that would be enforced? Or is it the one that's being looked at? And if this takes a year, that it would be that one that is in force?
No, we can't, as previously mentioned, once somebody files an application, you have to go under the ordinance and everything that's written as it is. You can't shuffle the deck, so to speak.
At the time. Okay. So it's the one that's in effect now. Thank you. The next question, and maybe you've answered this. If you have, fine. I'm good. I don't think people are clear on the process, the steps that take, where this application goes, and that might help everyone if you would, for the record, just explain all the stops that this train makes, if you will.
Right. So
that's it.
What's going to happen now is the Planning Commission is going to make some recommendations that they're going to have to, some things that they're going to have to do. There will also be a public hearing that is scheduled. Probably more Planning Commission comments. So we're probably still 3-4 months at the Planning Commission. They're also going to, like I said, County Road Commission is probably going to look at this. County Drain Commission is going to look at this. County Planning is going to look at it. And whatever, if the Planning Commission says, look, we want an environmental impact study, all those things are going to have to take place.
Do each of those committees have forums like this as well, or is it done?
Absolutely. There's always, all of our meetings have public comment. And like I said, the public hearing, that's where your comments go on an official record. Okay. And that will be held at the Planning Commission. Did I answer all your questions?
I think there's a lot of people who are interested in being active in this, and I think they would be concerned that they're going to miss what's the next meeting that's coming up and when is it? How would they know when that is? Because it's not going to be this board meeting. It's going to be a different meeting. And how would they find that out of where the current issue is and where that meeting is with all those reviews?
Can I jump in on that, Mike?
Sure, Dan.
Sure. I'm the chairman of the Planning Commission. We haven't scheduled any, we haven't taken any further action on this yet. We haven't communicated with the applicant or anything, but public hearings, there's state laws requiring that we notify the public in certain ways. Typically that's the newspaper. So that's where we will most likely notify the public of when the public hearing is scheduled. And that's like Mike's been saying, that's down the road quite a ways.
I understand, but if it's at the county, if it's at the drain or whatever, how would people find out about that? They would have to seek that out on their own. That's not going to be.
Yeah, the County Planning Commission has their own meeting notification protocols, and things like drain office review and Eagle and all those agency reviews aren't really part of the public process. That we'll be able to see the results of it, but they don't review them in public or hold meetings or public hearings or anything. The public hearings and the input will take place at the township level.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your service. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I think I tried this one before. It's Jay Fialka. Pardon my. Are you there? Jay Fialka. Okay, Rick. Rick, I asked you on a mute. You there, Rick? No. How about Frank Kinney? Frank? Karina Beardsley. Karina?
Hi, am I Thank you.
There you go. Hi, Karina.
Services often.
Is it
Karina,
me?
hold on a second. I think Frank finally came on. Frank, are you there?
Okay. I'll mute.
Oh, go ahead, Karina. Sorry, I
No,
was
you go
having,
ahead, Frank. You're on.
All right, thank you.
Muted.
I know the board. Thank you for your time and your service to the community. I'm a member, a resident, 17 years of Heartland Township. Let's see. Brian touched on the majority of my talking points, but if you could, so right now the township board has assigned the planning commission the task of performing or reviewing the application. And so like Brian, I think the community would benefit from transparency is maybe an overuse of the word, but just clarity on the process. And so just as I'm taking notes, the township boards received the application and it's in the planning commission's hands. We've got roughly a 2 to 3 month timeline horizon. Are there any firm dates within the planning commission at which Mr. Nicholson is kind of committed to by way of reviewing that application and rendering a decision? No? Okay.
Not yet. It's still real early. So public hearing hasn't been scheduled. I think what's going to happen next is the planning commission is going to make some recommendations of the things that they want from the applicant.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I yield. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Coming back to Karina. Sorry. Thank you, Karina, for stepping back. Are you there?
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I live off of Sonora Drive, so I'm only about 400 yards from where this thing is going to happen. And I'm just curious on how, if you guys choose to tell them that you're not going to rezone, are they allowed to take you guys to court to overturn that? Or once you guys say that you wouldn't, is it done?
Well, just like anything, I think you could take anybody to court for any reason. If we deny it, the question comes: do they have a stance? Do they have any reasonable argument as to why the judge should see it their way? But I don't think we've rezoned. I think maybe we've denied one rezoning and it didn't face, and it was pretty heated too. And I thought that there's something would come from it and it didn't. So I guess this is one of those things where you have to have a crystal ball, and I don't have one, so I can't give you a definite answer as to whether that would happen or not. But it is feasible. There is a possibility, yes.
All right, that's all I had to really ask.
All right, thank you. Donna, you there, Donna?
Yeah, it's John Fialka, actually. Sorry, I had trouble with my other computer.
Okay.
So my question is, you said the planning commission will make a recommendation. Can you tell me how they take into account public opposition? Obviously, I think there's a lot of people here, me included, that oppose this.
Well, Dan, you're the PC chair. Did you want to answer that, or do you want me to
Well, yeah, we have a legal obligation to review the application and against the ordinance and against our own rules that the township has set forth for these sort of rezoning things. And then we'll balance it against public comment. That's what public hearings are for, and against the legality of it and you know, and all these different factors that go into it. And then we make a recommendation to the township board accordingly. But the whole point of the public hearing phase is to get the temperature of the public and see whether or not we have a remedy to satisfy both the public, the applicant, you know, and make sure everything is a proper and that we're not, you know, making the public too mad or whatever, or the applicant or whomever. So yeah, we take the public's comment into account.
Yeah, and then the other question is there transparency with regard to any business or financial interests for people on the planning or the trustees?
Absolutely. So if any board member or commission member has a financial interest, they are to recuse themselves immediately and have no part in the action. So let's say we have a person that sells fleet automobiles, and they sell fleet automobiles to that plant. There's a financial gain, there's a financial interest, and they will have to recuse themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Getting to the end here, it looks like Brian Hogue. Brian, are you there?
I am here.
Hi, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And like Frank said, and Brian Heel, they covered most of my things. There were some comments about how you get the information out. And just speaking to all of you that are here now, it's up to us. It's really hard for a small township to get all this information out in a way, unless you had some email system set up, it'd be difficult for them to do that. It's up to us. Tell all your friends, put it on your Facebook, email all the people you know in your neighborhood. And if individual neighborhoods get spokesmen for their neighborhood, it might help the process when we get to a public hearing to where you don't have 50 people from each neighborhood trying to speak, but have a spokesman from that neighborhood. Just a suggestion. Get the word out. We don't want it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, hi, Herb. I see you're there.
I just want to let Marcy know that I was here. I just got on just a little after you started, so I am here on the meeting with you.
Thanks, Herb.
No
Hey,
problem.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike, I just want to let everybody know we do have an email list that we do send all of the agendas, all of the board packets out to. So if anybody wants to be added, all they have to do is send an email to clerk@tyronetownship.us, and we will add you to that mailing list, and you will get everything that we send out.
Yep. And then also, too, if you don't want to send an email, you go onto our homepage on the right side, and you can there's a thing that's to sign up for it. And there's two ways you can do it. So you can either send the email to clerk@tyronetownship.us or go to the website and sign up for email alerts.
That doesn't cover people without internet access.
That's true. Rick.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing, Rick?
Sorry about earlier. I had problems with the microphone.
Oh, no problem.
I'm probably going to reiterate a lot of stuff that's been said, but I'll be short. The fumes, I've worked in this industry for 30 years. Once you get the fumes in your house, your clothes, it doesn't go away. And then you got wind erosion off the stockpiles. It's going to affect anybody, whichever way the wind's blowing. You get water erosion from the site when it rains. Then you're going to get damage to your roads because you're going to have more than just trucks coming in with materials. You're going to have trucks leaving with materials. And they're in excess of 160,000 pounds. That's a lot of weight on a road. Though it's legal, it's a lot of weight. So those are things we have to consider. I mean, we just paved Center Road, or I'm sorry, US 23 there between Center and White Lake. I mean, 160,000 pounds coming out of a plant on a radius is going to just tear the hell out of that road. So that's all I had to say. I just want to let everybody know what I know from 30 years of the industry.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we got just a couple more here. Matt Naughty. Matt, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Trust me, I have my concerns about pollution and traffic and everything like that. We live just down the road at Old 23 between Center and Fawcett. But I am a assistant principal in South Lyon Community Schools. And I see a huge detriment to the Heartland Consolidated Schools. And that is my utmost concern. Property value, people not wanting to move here. And it's just going to be a huge concern and hit to Heartland schools. And I have two small children who attend Heartland schools, and I would hate to see that happen to them. We are stand behind the school system, which is a great school system, and I would hate to see that happen. So I hope that we can turn this down. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Julie Dooling, I believe. Julie?
Hi, Mike. I thank you again for letting me ask one more question. Did I hear you correctly and say that you only have turned down one rezoning?
Yeah, in fact, I think it's the only rezoning request that I've had in 11 years. So yeah, we did turn down a rezoning request.
Okay. When was that? And what was it that you turned down?
I believe it was last year. It was the, what was the name of that? It was
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Yep.
Okay.
Sanctuary.
Has there ever been in the past an application for a heavy industrial to change over?
No, not since I would put it this way, not since I've been there. And that's, like I said, in the last 11 years, no.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I do believe there was one once. I recall somebody wanted to come in and put an ammunition plant in. And I don't know if that was a rezoning, but I know that they turned them down. So I don't know if it was a rezoning or special land use, but it did not get approved. They went somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And Janet Evans. Janet, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Janet.
Hi. Good evening, guys. I just have a little bit more of a clarification question on the process. A lot of it has been answered, but I'm hearing you guys say that a lot of the determination of a rezoning application is based on the master plan, and in the 2012 master plan, which you said was updated a couple years after that and is going to be updated again soon. Heavy industrial is the absolute least desired thing ranked for the direction of the community. We have no other heavy industrial anywhere else in the township. So I'm wondering where the legal obligation is to go through, like how much further is the township obligated to go with this, with hiring different groups and parties to investigate and everything else, when it's clearly stated already in the current master plan that this is not something that is desired for the community?
Yeah, it's a request. They're requesting us to rezone for them. And they have a right to put an application in, and then we are legally obligated to review it.
And I understand that, but legally obligated to, I mean, to explore how much when it clearly is not in the master plan. What are the other factors besides the master plan then go into that obligation? Isn't the master plan a reason to deny the request?
Well, the master plan, the key component in the master plan is the future land use map. And I do believe that Dan Stickle, our planning chair, I think, was waving his hand there and wanted to add something to it.
The master plan is a plan, and we'd like to follow it. We are not legally obligated to it. We are legally obligated to follow the ordinance in this case. And that lays out the steps and the criteria through which rezoning applications are to be considered.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Yep. Did you have another question?
Nope, that would be it.
All right, Janet, thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe Denise Lustig. Hi, Denise, you there?
Hello, this is Gary Lustig. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, hi, Gary. I'm sorry.
No problem, sir. I've heard a lot of questions and a lot of concerns. There's been a lot of great points brought up by the community. I've heard things such as being worried, scared, pollutants, property value loss. What I'd like to add to the story, I'm a basement waterproofer. I've been in the business 35 years, and I'm very familiar with water, groundwater, aquifers, things of that nature. And when this plant is operating and it decides to rain, the water will bring the pollutants out into our soil, which could obviously affect our rivers, streams, our waterfowl, and more importantly, our orchards, our farming, our crops. I haven't heard any farmers here. I'm just wondering why we're not hearing from these people that are worried about serving food to the American citizen.
You know, I can't answer for people that aren't here. I don't know why we haven't heard them, and maybe we have heard from them and they just haven't identified themselves as a farmer. I know that I'm pretty sure that the Planning Commission will include that they're looking for some sort of environmental impact study, whether it runs through the Livingston County Drain Commissioner's Office, the Health Department, or an independent contractor. But yeah, I'm sure that those things are definitely going to be looked at.
I would have had more support from the local farmers, and I just wanted to put a voice out in case you were getting ready to stop taking questions. I thank you for taking my comments, sir.
Yeah, thank you. No problem. I'm not seeing any more hands raised, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on with the agenda. There'll be one more time for public comment. Those that want to stay on and go through the meeting, they can. And for those that want to go ahead and jump off, I'll hold on just for a minute while people do that.
I'll ensure
Mike, there are a couple people who have not muted themselves, and I can hear background noise.
What I'm gonna do is I'll just mute all.
Mike, I see somebody named
Marcy, you got muted in mid-statement there.
I said I was unmuting everybody.
Yeah, there's a Ted Mercies. I see his hand up.
Where's okay, let's see.
And there's also a Brianne Naughty.
Okay, there we go. Brianne, are you there?
I just wanted, yes, hi. I just wanted to make a comment about the Spicers, about the drainage comment that somebody just made recently. I know that they are participating and concerned about what is happening, and they are a local community. I know that the gas station at the corner and the golf course as well are concerned. So whether or not they could join because of the limited number of members that were allowed to participate, I don't know. But I just wanted to mention that they have concerns. I know that there are limited participants in this conversation, but I don't want to let them go unnoticed based on the last comment.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, that first meeting got kind of caught us by surprise, and I apologize for that. And we have definitely upped the capacity. So going forward, I hope that everybody gets the opportunity to be in and speak. And based on tonight's meeting, I think we have more than enough capacity for the next meeting too. So thank you. And I see Ted. You there, Ted?
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, thanks for the time. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everything you folks are doing. I just have one question. I've been listening all evening. I've been fortunate enough to be hooked up and a part of this. I guess I'm going to spin it around a little bit because I'm not really familiar with parliamentary procedure in something like this. Are we allowed to ask each one of you as our elected officials, what is your take on this? I mean, you live here and you've heard people's concerns about the toxicity. You've heard pollution, property value. Poor Janet said it was 30%. My research has said it's a lot closer to 56%, but I'm sure numbers are going to vary across the boards. I just wondered if we could ask you guys each individually, you live here. What's your take on this?
Well, you know what? Chuck, would you answer that question for us? You're going to get the legal answer here.
Sure. Hi, Chuck.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Does everybody hear Chuck? Ted, can you hear him?
I can.
Okay.
It is the obligation of the Board of Trustees members, the Planning Commission members, to keep an open mind as they're reviewing these things. They can't shut any opinions out. They can't accept any opinions before they're asked to either make a recommendation or to make a decision on it. And so to ask the Board of Trustees members what their position is on this when they haven't had the opportunity to review all the information and before they have an opportunity to convene as the board to decide this matter would be unethical, and it would be a clear violation of Michigan law. And so for any of the board members to be asked to state their opinion now would probably result in a lawsuit against the township at some point in time, should the property owner that's seeking the rezone to hear about it and to really want to be aggressive about their rezone. And so the Board of Trustees members here, and as will the Planning Commission members, they will hear all of the opinions that are out there by the citizens. They will hear all the opinions by the experts. They will take recommendations into account from all the other commissions or boards, whether it's local or county, into account. And then when they are asked what their position is, it will be given through their votes at that time.
Well, I thank you for clarifying that, Chuck. That I appreciate that, because I know a lot of people that I've talked to have kind of asked, why you're taking a neutral stance, but now I certainly understand why that is. So I do appreciate the clarification.
Sure. And Ted, there's creative ways to spend money, and we've done a really good job of saving money and paying off debt. I would hate to waste money on a lawsuit where we, give an opinion.
Nope, I understand that too. Like I say, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Ted. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. If everybody will take a look and just make sure that everybody got heard. I'm not seeing any more hands. Doesn't mean that they're not out there. I'm just not seeing them. But I'll go back through again.
I didn't see anyone, Mike.
Thank you. Feel better when I get somebody else telling me that they see things that way. Okay, so we don't have any more public comment. So we're going to close public comment. We're going to move on with our agenda. I'm working off of two computers here, so bear with me. Okay, moving on to new business, or actually, I'm sorry, unfinished business budget discussion. In our previous meeting regarding our budget, we talked about what we wanted to budget for for next year. And Ed Casey put together a small little sheet here, and I sent it out to you today. And I'm sorry for the late notice, but I've been quite busy with public comment, emails, phone calls, interviews and stuff, and kind of got away from me. So revenues, we're looking a little less based on our revenues for school collection of taxes. Interest rates are down, so some of our revenue on our money market accounts and things like that are going to be down. And we usually get reimbursement for elections, and we're not anticipating any elections, so we're not going to have any much of a budget or proposed budget for that line item. So as we move on into department expenses, 3% increase across the board for wages, decrease in wages for our accountant for reduced hours. No elections coming up this year, as mentioned. We're going to increase lawn and landscaping needs. We talked about some work that needed to be done landscape-wise, so we increased that. Last year, our budget was $48,000. This year, we increased it to $52,000. Planning Commission, we're going to have a new contracted planner. We're also going to go through our master plan revision. Last year we spent $89,000. We moved that up to $106,000. Insurance bonds and fringes from 145 to 166. We transferred revenue out, $285,000 from the road fund to cover $245,000 in projects. And I think that's about all the adjustments we made over last year's budget. We're still have a balanced budget. Public improvement, we budgeted the $15,000 for the handicap hardware, push buttons on the front doors. And then also, we knew that when we purchased the building that we had, the HVAC system needed to be replaced. So we've done part of that, and we've budgeted another $65,000 to get that all completed this year. So our HVAC system will be good for another 15, 20 years. There's a 3% increase in fire contracts. And that's about it. That's all the budget. So just wanted to give you an update that we've got that going, and that'll be part of the budget presentation coming up next month. So were there any questions about that, or did anybody have anything else that came to light that we didn't budget for, or anything that we need to add?
Mike, my only comment is you might want to clarify when you said you're transferring to road fund to cover projects, that you're transferring it for road projects. That's all.
I'm sorry, transferring it to what?
On the transfer, you're transferring out of the road fund to cover projects. You might just plug in there that's to cover road projects, not tangential projects or non-related projects.
Yeah, that's correct. And let me clarify that. We have money in road fund. It can only be used for road projects. We can't use it for building improvements. We can't use it for, tea with the clerk or anything like that. Not that we could even do that, but no, we don't. It is allocated for road projects. For those that are listening, this year's road project is we're going to do some gravel work on Whitaker Road. It's an old limestone road, and it's just gone to dust, and it needs something. So rather than go back and do limestone, we're going to do gravel because we can get pretty good results with gravel at a fraction of the cost. It costs a lot of money to haul in a limestone. And then we're going to repave White Lake Road from Carmer to Heartland Road. And, White Lake Road is our next primary road, and we're going to continue in future years east with that project. So that's what we have for our road commission, or for our road projects, I'm sorry. Any other questions or comments? All right, being that there's none, we'll get back into business. And now we're gonna move to new business. Item number 1, selection of a planning consultant. We received 4 proposals, one from CIB Planning, one from Spicer Group, one from Rowe Engineering, and one from Carlisle Workman. I think everybody's had an opportunity to look these over. Do we have anybody from any of these groups that gave us a proposal that has anything that they'd like to add to the township board tonight? If so, raise your hand or chime in.
Good
Yep.
evening.
Good evening. Hi.
Chairman, board members. This is Justin Sprague with CIB Planning.
Hi, Justin.
Here in Fenton, and just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to give you a proposal to possibly become your next planner. And I look forward to answering any questions you may have this evening.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike. This is Phil Westmoreland from Spicer. Again, yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Definitely always appreciate the opportunity to serve the township.
Thank you, Phil. So, anybody got any thoughts on this? And I think we got 4 great proposals. They were different in nature, but they're, sharpen your pencil, you can kind of decipher where they go.
Mike, I had a question.
Sure.
I think you mentioned at the last meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that the one that was submitted by Carlisle, I noted there was a monthly retainer fee that was applicable to that. Is that still in play?
Yeah, I spoke to them about that, and they waived that, and I forwarded an email. I don't know if you got it, but yeah, they said that
okay.
Due to the times and Zoom and COVID, that was something that they would waive for us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, something got my dog excited, and he wanted to let everybody know he was upset, so I apologize for that. I will go ahead and say that I was really, first of all, I liked all the proposals, and all the phone calls came back great. I called some different communities and stuff, but the Carlisle Wortman kind of lines up well with us. I'm not saying that the others don't, but one of the things that has always been a comment that I hear is, what are our neighbors doing? And Carlisle Wortman works with a lot of our neighbors in our county. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts are, but that's my thoughts on it. And, Spicer Group too. I mean, we have a great working relationship with Spicer engineering firm. And, I know they're a good group too. And I'm not saying that nobody else is not a good group, but those were the 2 that kind of jumped off at me. And anybody else? Marcy, did you have anything that you wanted to say about them? I know you reviewed them in depth.
Yeah. No, Carlisle Workman was the one that I thought would meet our needs the best because of the townships that they work for within our county. I think that they probably would be best for what we need.
Yeah, we received email from Dan too. Go ahead, Zach. Zach?
I was just going to say, I thought they were all good proposals. I thought they all read very well and made good presentations and appeared to have good work product. And I'm not saying anything negative about any of the applicants here, but I can say I have had experience with Roe, and I've found that Roe does a good job as well. So they were the one that jumped out at me.
Yep. Kurt? You're muted.
Yeah, I guess I got to unmute there. I looked at all of them also. I think only one of them supplied any type of sample of a master plan. But when push comes to shove and sitting on the planning commission, I know that frequently what we're doing is searching out to find out what the rest of the townships in our area are doing. And for us, there's 7 of the 12 townships are already working with Carlisle Wortman. And to me, because our questions frequently delve with what are they doing on sight lines? How are they managing ordinances? What kind of issues do they have that are similar to ours? And from the review that I looked at And again, it's reading the proposals. They seem to be the one that would match closest with what we're doing. And again, that's just my opinion.
Sure. Jennifer, did you have any thoughts on it?
I do. I enjoyed reviewing all four. I think they're all very good candidates. A couple of them are probably more than what the township needs at this time. They're more geared towards cities, which I don't think is very useful to us right now. I do like the row one. I do like all the experience. They do have a lot of township experience. But I also like the Carlisle and Workman, only because a lot of our communities in Livingston County also use them. And I physically spoke to a couple of them, and they gave them high honors and said they're a great group of people to work with.
And if I recall, one of our board members is recusing himself from this. Is that correct?
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to point out I wasn't being not concerned. It's just that I'm recusing as I have a conflict of interest.
Thank you. I just wanted to make that known on the record. Herm, you got any comments? You got to unmute, Herm. Herm, unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
There you go.
All right. Did you mute me? I was just looking them over, Mike, and I agree with you and Marcy on, with the ones that you recommend. And I've dealt with row engineering in the past, and they're kind of geared more toward cities. And I really support or make a motion that we go ahead and accept, the one that you and Marcy recommended. I agree with you.
So I guess you would have to clean that up and say that you are making a motion to select Carlisle Workman.
Yeah. Yes.
So say that.
Okay, I'm making a motion to accept Carlisle Workman.
Okay.
As our engineering firm.
I'll support.
Planning firm.
Okay, so it was motioned by Ferguson, supported by Schultz. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? That motion carries. Thank you all. Now moving on to our last public comment, public remark. Please use the raise hand function and we will get to you. Any public comment? Okay, Phil Westmoreland.
Sorry, Mike. I had raised my hand about the planning thing, so I'm all set.
Okay, thanks. Let's see.
Mike, I'm having trouble with my computer, so this is Scott Dietrich. So put me on.
Hi, Scott. Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
All right, I got an issue. I think I talked about the other day. The stop signs, four-way stop at White Lake Road.
Yes.
They made it a four-way stop. When you're coming from Fenton, getting off there, the traffic's slowing down to stop. And if they're lined up there, I'm trying to get across. And they're at the other stop sign taking off, and I'm trying to get, and all of a sudden they're on top, and it's going to make more accidents there than we had before. We'd rather have the traffic going through back and forth. It keeps it open. It's made it worse. And then a lot of these people out here are probably overwhelmed on the Zoom because this is my first time on Zoom. So I'm having a few issues, but I'll iron them out. But,
you seem to navigate. You got through it. Congratulations.
Hey, Mike, it's my mouth. I have no problem moving my mouth. So, but no, I appreciate your guys' help. And keep up the good work. And you guys be safe getting home tonight.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. And I have Steve Curto. Steve. You there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Appreciate you having me on. My concern was going back to repaving the roads. I heard you mentioning you're doing White Lake to Carmer.
Yes.
So I'm a homeowner on Center Road, Center and Linden Road, just on the dirt part, but I travel on Center Road, the cement part, and I'm thinking you probably know where I'm going here.
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, that road is horrible, and I'm constantly driving on the other side of the road. And just the other day, I was pulled over, which is a funny story. It was my neighbor, who was a state trooper, just joking with me because I was driving on the other side of the road. He says, "What are you doing?" He was driving on the other side of the road as well. We were just joking. He's like, "This road is horrible." So, I mean, is there any future plan to get this road in better shape?
So the residents are going to have to put pressure on Livingston County Road Commission, and here's why.
I'll do that.
So they have what they have is a primary pavement preservation program, and they will pave roads in your township if you match them 50%. They do that for primary roads only. That's a secondary road. They'll do, I think, was it 30% up to the first $100,000,
Okay.
which basically leaves the township holding the bag for funding the whole road. And townships were never set up to fund roads unless you have a special assessment. So for us to raise that much money, I mean, that's probably close to $1 million project.
It's $1 million guaranteed. Yeah, I totally understand, and if I have to pressure Livingston County town, I will do that. Just thought I'd put it out there while I'm on this call. So
yeah, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease, I guess. But
yeah, I can be squeaky.
They have done work in our township without funding. They've done a couple roads in the last couple years, so we're grateful for that. So the other one is Runyon Lake. Those two roads right there, they
it's
really,
a bad road.
really need attention. So
I agree. Well, while I'm on the call, I am against the plant. Just so you know. Anyways,
I haven't heard anybody in favor of it. So you're consistent.
I don't think you're going to find very many people.
Yep.
The only people you're going to find on pro asphalt plant are people who are funding it. So that's it.
Not even to get Center Road paved.
Yeah, I'd rather have no asphalt plant, honestly. So
yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, last call for public remarks. Anybody else? I'm going through here. Does anybody see anybody?
No, I don't see anyone, Mike.
People still trying to get admitted, but I'm going to admit them. A couple of people just got admitted. This is the last opportunity for public comment. If you'd like to make a comment, we'd like to hear what you have to say. Those that just joined, did you have any public comment? You can use a raise hand function or just go ahead and chime in. Anyone? All right, does anybody see any hands raised? I don't want anybody to not be heard.
I don't see anyone, Mike.
Okay, I think I'm going to check one last time. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to have to ask those that are on to jump off because we have to go to closed session to have discussion with pending consultant. We are not going to conduct any more business tonight. The only thing we're going to do after that closed session is adjourn the meeting. So if you guys would go ahead and log off, we'd appreciate it. And thank you all for attending. I appreciate all your comments. We've been going for an hour and 43 minutes. Does anybody need 5 minutes to relieve themselves or do anything like that?
Good.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, I'm gonna have to ask people to leave here.
Getting rowdy.
I've got a few people have to be removed here.
I'm still showing 23 in.
Yeah, I'm taking care of that right now.
So did everybody enjoy the snow? Is that a yes, Jennifer?
Sure, if you have a snowmobile.
Or a snow plowing business?
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, my kids played outside all day despite the freezing cold temperatures, so somebody enjoyed it.
How old are your kids, Zach?
I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 7-month-old.
Wow.
So got a good spread.
You take the 7-month-old out in the snow too?
Not today. Not today.
You know, I don't think we've had this much snow on the ground since 2014.
I agree, yeah. Hopefully tonight will be the last of the really cold weather.
Amen
I think
to that.
-5. When it hits 30, it's going to feel like we're going to be out in t-shirts. I know it will be.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know all the bugs are dead right now.
Right. No mosquitoes.
Nope. No cockroaches, no flies. They're all dead. So you move down to Florida, you can't say that.
So Herman, your iPhone, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, don't. Hey, yeah. Yeah, don't take me off.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting and to go into closed session.
So moved.
A resolution.
Resolution, I'm sorry.
Oh. So resolved.
Board.
Probably should have did this before I closed everybody out.
Oh,
too late now.
All right.
That's why I
So
don't
I'll
like
do-
Zoom.
I'll do a quick roll call or a quick vote. David Walker,
Yes.
Kurt Schultz,
Yes.
Herman Ferguson,
Yes.
Zach Tucker,
Yes.
Mike Cunningham,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
and I say yes.
Support.
Oh,
We already
All
did
in
that.
favor signify by say aye.
We already did that, Mike.
Okay.
I made the motion. Kurt seconded it.
All in favor signify
14.
by saying aye.
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 All right, meeting's adjourned. Now I'm pausing it.